Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Recently, I picked up a cheap top handle chainsaw just to keep on the Ranger. I needed a small saw that was lightweight, that if I needed it, if I was checking fences and had to cut a tree off the fence or clean up a trail that I'm driving through, I've got a small little lightweight saw available. So after I purchased that saw, I got to looking for different chainsaw mounts for the Polaris Ranger. So I found one. It's a company that I've worked with in the past. I did a gun rack install. I'll link that video right up here if you haven't seen that. I reached out to them and asked them if they would ship me this chainsaw mount so I could make a video on it to show all of you and have a place to keep the saw put up and out of the way. So the name of that company is KemiMoto. I will put a link to their Amazon store down in the description box, and I'll put a link to this chainsaw mount down in the description box. So let's unbox this thing and see what's in it, then let's get it installed on the Ranger. Okay, and like I said, the name of the store is KemiMoto. If I haven't thrown it up on the screen, I will, but let's see what's in this thing. So, again, so there's the mounts for the bed, and looks like two pieces for it. It's got a little kind of a rubbery sponge mat in between there, so that's good. It's better than having a straight metal. Here we go. Okay. Looks like that is the mount. Then you got the backing plate. That'll end up going right back here, like so. And this thing will mount to the bed. So, first thing we need to do is get the included hardware. We've got two nuts, two wing bolts, and the rubber mount that'll fit down into the holes in the bed on that Ranger. This mount is going to end up going right up here. And as you tighten these down, tighten this bolt down, this nut, this thing will start swelling up and it'll stay where it's supposed to in the bed. Okay, so this mount, all these are a 13 millimeter or a 1/2 inch. So the way this is going to work, take this off and the washer. This is going to fit up in through that middle hole, and then the washer and nut will go back on it. And like I said, this nut is what we will use to tighten this thing up. Once we figure out exactly where we want it, it'll get tightened up. So that'll hang off the side of the bed. Then you've got these. This piece will go right over here. Notice it's got these little tabs bent over. That'll, see that step down right here? They'll fit right up on that, so it's not going nowhere. These wing nuts will go right through here and tighten up. Okay, it's going to be close enough. We'll adjust it once we get it on the machine. Now, these other nuts, these are a nylon locking nut. These go on the back side of this, so you can't unscrew it where this thing's going to fall off while you're going down the trail somewhere and you lose your damage or lose your chainsaw or lose the mount, part of the mount. So use these. They include them for a reason, just to keep you from losing everything. Now they're not going to need to be run on there real tight, but you do want that locking part to be all the way down. Now the bolt is sticking up past the nut just a little bit, Do the same thing to this side. Okay, let's get this thing installed on the Ranger and get our chainsaw mounted to it. Okay, let's get this thing installed. And I do want to go over and just kind of show you all. This is pretty thick steel. This is heavy duty. It's not light. So, I mean, that's a good thing. Most of your saws that you're going to be carrying around, they're not cheap. So you want them to be secure. I feel this product's going to do that for us. Now, conventionally, this product would get mounted just like this to the outside of your bed, either side, it doesn't matter. I don't know if I showed you all either. It does have these rubber bushings, so you're not gonna scrape the side of your bedside. But conventionally, this thing's gonna mount right here. Loosen these up, we can get a saw and throw it in here. It does have this rubber pad up here on the top. So this top handle would fit just like that. Then you tighten this down so it clamps the bar. Okay, now that thing's secure. You can see it doesn't really stick out past the bed a whole lot. I mean, it's in more than the mirrors are up there, so that ain't a bad deal. Now, this isn't just for top handle saws or anything like that. Let's loosen this out. I've got my 041 with a 28-inch bar. Let's throw it in here. And then I've got my 660 clone I built, which I have mud flares on the side of this. Most machines I don't think do. You see these where they stick out? I can move it to the front, or I could put it back here at this back post, and I think it would be fine there. So I haven't securely mounted this thing yet. Nope, won't fit in that one. I think the bars may clear there. Okay, here's a 041 with a 28-inch bar on it. Actually, that fit just fine. I'm sure if the bar is long enough, you may not have to secure it down. If it was me, I would go ahead and secure it just because I don't want anything bouncing around. But let's look at that. 28-inch bar. I could probably fit a 36-inch bar in this on this Ranger. But it holds it good, holds it real good. And again, it really don't stick out no more than the mirror does. Not a bad little mount. So that one fit just fine. So I'm sure the 660 is going to fit just fine too. Oh yeah, fits real good. I'm pleased. I'm pleased with this mount. That mount's gonna be very, very handy to have on this machine. It's a great addition for it. Okay. Well, I got it for this saw to live on here. So if you have a machine like this and you want a way to carry your chainsaw around where you're keeping it out of the bed, say you're hauling wood or something, sometimes this bed space is fairly valuable in these because it's limited. This may be a good option for some of you. Okay, so like I said, mounting this is fairly straightforward. You're just gonna tighten up this nut and it's gonna swell that plug up so it fits in there nice and tight. So you could also, if you needed to, offset this because it does have 2 slotted holes on each side. So I could keep the plug right there, shift this whole thing forward, 2 inches or whatever, either direction. So if you did need to have it go a certain way, there's flexibility in this mount. So that was good of them, good of their designers, engineers to come up with that. Okay, that thing's solid. And again, top of this mount does have that rubber pad. Same with each side of the scabbard, the mount. So fits down just like that. However you want it. We'll just put it there in the center. Let me get you guys back up on the tripod and we'll get this thing secure. Okay, so that's there. And tighten these down real quick. Okay, that thing's secure. It ain't going nowhere. Anyways, everyone, I hope the information I provided was helpful for you. If you're looking for a chainsaw mount, check out KemiMoto on Amazon. This is going to be very handy, keeping on this machine, not just for this saw. If I've got other saws and I've got some wood that I bucked up in the rear of this thing, I could stick my 290, my 660, my 041, the 170, any of them will fit. And it's versatile with how you can mount it. The Polaris have these plugs in the bed, so that plug they included, perfect. I honestly think this would have took maybe 5 minutes to install this on this machine if I wasn't filming. But having the other mounts in the rear so you can locate it whichever direction you need really makes this thing very versatile. It's not going to twist or anything because the way all the metal's broke, it fits flush on the inside of the bed. It's got the rubber mounts on the outside, so that thing's secure. So everyone, keep it between the ditches, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.